Thanks for joining us. I'm Salim.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Leah.
And we're here to talk about Breaking Bad on AMC.
I have an offer that I think will be of interest to you. You know why I do this. A man provides for his family.
You're a drug dealer.
I'm a manufacturer, I'm not a dealer.
What did you expect me to do? Just simply roll over? That I wouldn't take extreme measures to defend myself? They're going to kill me. Jesse, do it now! Do it!
The devil is in the details, okay? One little mistake, one slip-up in our story, that could ruin us.
I have lived under the threat of death for a year now. I alone should suffer the consequences of those choices, no one else. And those consequences, they're coming.
It just finished the first half of the 5th season, and there are only 8 episodes left in the entire series.
I'm upset too. I'm upset too.
I want more.
I do too.
Everybody
I would like to
wants
have more. But you know what? I think there's something to be said for a show that knows when it's time to bow out gracefully. And under the leadership and vision and guidance of Vince Gilligan, it's clear that he has a sense and a sensibility about the life and trajectory of Walt White.
He's definitely set it up. I mean, there are a lot of different possible permutations of what could happen, and yeah, it's all him. I mean, Vince Gilligan is the man.
It's about the common man who discovers that life isn't fair.
I feel so bad for this guy.
You definitely don't want his life.
Terminal cancer, science teacher, he moonlights at a car wash. Everybody dumps on him because they think he's pathetic. His wife, his son, his students. He doesn't get respect from anybody.
Right. He starts off with garnering our sympathy, and we are very caring, concerned about him, and we're like, oh, poor guy. But then over a period of time, we discover that the real Walt emerges, someone who is bitter about having been cut out of a billion-dollar industry, and he needs to prove to everyone, including to himself, that he really is a genius.
I thought they did such a great job of having all this happen gradually that anytime he did something bad, I just thought it was just a moment. You know, he really wanted to do good.
And then suddenly you find yourself going, yeah, if I were in that situation, I'd make the same decision.
And I think that
It's
is
so good because I can occasionally see that it's doing that and get out of it and be like, whoa, this is not cool.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what's really incredible is
He's so
it
seductive.
sucks us in.
Yes.
And he is the most seductive actor I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't see him as Bryan Cranston.
Well, we've just spent all these years seeing him be Malcolm's dad,
which I
right?
thankfully didn't see, so I had a blank slate, which is great.
Well, I think that was part of my bias initially from watching this. I'm like, what, really? What? I mean, this is Malcolm's dad. How could that possibly be?
And
For
I
me-
hear everybody say that.
I was the opposite. I love seeing actors do something completely different from what they've done.
Yeah.
Because usually they do it well because there's something that the director or the showrunner sees in them. For Bryan Cranston, he was very lucky because Vince Gilligan had actually cast him for an episode of The X-Files where he had to play this like white supremacist. But he basically had to be a sympathetic villain.
Well, what do you think about some of the other actors? I mean,
They're all
Jesse,
incredible.
we've got Aaron Paul.
Him and Walt, their dynamic
Well,
is
I think
so
their
great.
dynamic together is pretty
Has
interesting.
always been great.
Because over the course of the 5 seasons, there have been various times where Walt had to fight to save Jesse's life, and Jesse had to fight to save Walt's life.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold up, hold up! Get out of my way, kid! What? Wait a minute, all right? Let him talk. Let him talk. I am done.
These characters, they have love for each other, but they have a lot of animosity towards each other.
And they don't ever overtly state their love for one another, too. I mean, there are instances in season 4 where the other one person could conceivably get rid of the other one very easily, and they refuse to do it, and they don't say that they're making their decisions to save the other person, but that's what it is.
And it's based off of their experiences that, they've had together.
They've been through a lot together.
And it shows.
Like Skylar, played by Anna Gunn. I first became aware of her on Deadwood, and when I see her here, I'm like, is that the same woman?
Yeah.
She drives me up a wall. You know that Facebook group that I want to kill? Skylar White group? I feel like I should join that group.
Oh,
honestly, she drives me crazy.
But I think that's the point.
I get what the choices that they're making, and I get her role, and she plays it really well, but I still hate her.
Her character and the acting is extremely strong,
Yeah.
and all I wanted her to do is to forgive Walt. I'm like, come on, he's trying so
You want
hard.
her to be a gun mob.
Yeah, I want to,
She's a suburban housewife.
But I feel for her character. I understand what she has to go through. She has to hold all these secrets. She can't
She's
turn
the
him
one
in.
that said she could do it, and she
she's not going to because she doesn't want to ruin the family.
Well,
she wants to keep everything together.
She had her choice to get out just like everybody else in the show had their choice to get out.
Well, wait a minute, but this is another instance of how the writers create a situation where you're following down the path and no one sets out to be a suburban meth cooker, dealer, distributor extraordinaire. But then you find yourself in these circumstances and situations, you go, oh, I see how they can make that decision.
Well, and she's supposed to be the most logical. She's supposed to be the one that reels him in, and then she seems to think that it's going to be okay and she's not going to drive herself crazy.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Going back to Vince Gilligan, I mean, he has crafted these characters and then found the best actors that he could possibly find to realize them. When you couple that with amazing directing that we see in hour-long dramatic television, highly stylized television program, I think that for me, the directing, hands down, is what sets this show apart from everything else.
Every single episode is a movie.
The camera takes us into places that we wouldn't normally get into. We get inside the body, and close up on arms, and the attention to detail is pretty amazing. Now, what we should do is we should just recommend that everybody catch up. Use this time, this break within the 5th season to catch up on all the past seasons.
Yes.
And then join us in 2013 for the remaining 8 episodes. Oh my god.
That crystal blue persuasion, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, mates.
I can't wait.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Salim.
You look like Dr. Giggles.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
I thought we were coming here to make meth.